Madam Speaker, what you said is actually something that can be corroborated in the White House's release of the president's last physical, which is that his weight does qualify him as being morbidly obese. Is that what you were saying, or did you know it would elicit this kind of reaction from the president?
No, I had no idea. I didn't know that he would be so sensitive. He's always talking about other people's avoirdupois, their weight, their pounds. I don't even want to spend any more time on his distraction because, as you see in the last couple of days, so much of the time has been spent on what he said. Rather than that, I think he should recognize that his words weigh a ton. Instead of putting people to put Lysol into their lungs or taking a medication that has not been approved except under certain circumstances, he should be saying what your previous guest mentioned, things that would help people. But let's not dwell on him. What we have to dwell on is over 90,000 Americans have died, have lost their lives to this villainous virus, and 1.5 million infected. We don't really know the full total of it. That's why our HEROES Act says test, 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 trace, and treat, so that we can lower the amount of people who are dying because we know earlier if they are infected. Let us, again, honor our heroes who are fighting the fight, our healthcare workers, our first responders, and the rest who risk their lives to save lives and now may lose their jobs because of state and local budgets going down the drain. And again, let us do so in a way that keeps all of those who died in our hearts forever. This is a scar on America.
Madam Speaker, I worked in the White House on 9/11, and are you surprised? I mean, the people that are frontline workers in hospitals, certainly in any city that's a hotspot, are the same. They have the same DNA as the people who ran inside the towers. They run toward danger that people like me are in my basement hiding from. I mean, are you surprised that as a country we aren't grieving collectively for people who have lost their lives, people on the front lines helping to save our relatives?
As you know better than anyone, we have different leadership in our country now. I have a constant drumbeat in my caucus about when are we going to have a real memorial service for those who have lost their lives to this villainous, as I said, virus. But the fact is we owe it to them and to all who are fighting the fight on the front lines, whether healthcare workers or our emergency services folks, our police and fire, sanitation workers, food providers. I said sanitation, but even our teachers and the rest, we owe it to them to make sure that they have the PPE, the protections that they need, and we owe it to them to make sure that they can feel secure in their jobs and that their workplaces are safe. And when they go there, they don't bring something home that could be deadly to other members of their families, and that they still have the opportunity to keep their jobs. So it is many more people died now. That was a shock to our country because of the attack on our country. But this is an assault on our country as well. And we have a responsibility to be better prepared, to better respond to it in ways that the scientists are telling us are necessary, rather than the president being a notion monger about what, for one reason or another, he thinks will work. But putting him aside, because we have to put him aside, is not serious about what we really need to do to go forward. We need to honor our providers. We need to test, treat, and test, trace, and treat. And we need to do so in a way that is unifying to our country and respecting the dignity and worth of every person, because this is assaulting people in a very disparate way in terms of some of our communities of color as well. So they need to be tested. They need to be traced. They need to be treated. That's what the HEROES Act does.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.